Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and today we've got just a normal call out, not an emergency. Actually, yeah, it kind of is an emergency because this car is not usable according to the issue that it has. Shouldn't be. It probably works, but it should not be used. So a few months ago, this lady from Texas found me. Her grandsons live out here, and I've worked on one of her grandson's vehicles, and now I'm going to work on her other grandson's vehicle. And apparently he has some brakes that are going bad. They got a hold of me the other day, and our schedules didn't line up. So it's Saturday today. This should be the only job I'm doing. I usually keep my Saturdays free unless it's like an emergency call out or something like this where it just pretty much only works out Saturday. But his brakes are grinding to the point, you know, obviously where he said grinding. So he's going to need new rotors and new pads. He may have been fine with the rotors that he did have until he got that far. And that's a common mistake that people make, is just wear their brakes down until they start grinding, and then you're looking at rotors as well. But I usually try and do them both together since, you know, it's good to just have new rotors as well. Their lifetime's like 2 to 3 years. And, you know, that way you don't have to worry about your rotors going bad halfway through your next brake change. But I've got my Facebook page going up. We'll be putting videos up there. Feel free to hop over. I'll put a link in the description for the Facebook page. You can check out our website. We don't have like any sort of merchandise or anything yet, but if we ever do, then that's where it'll be. So I guess just something to think about. And I've had a lot of people ask about P.O. Box if viewers want to send something like a license plate or whatever. I've had some people offer to send me a tool, you know, that they wanted me to use and see if I liked it. Then, you know, I'll set up a P.O. box. I'll probably just announce it in a later video. I've got everything going for that now, but I just have to go to the actual post office and set everything up. So should have a P.O. box coming soon. If you want to send something, you're more than welcome to. I appreciate any kind of support the channel gets. So we'll hop over here. First, we're going to pick up some parts. We're going to pick up the rotors and the brake pads, and then we're going to pick up parts for a job early next week. So we'll swing by the parts store, and then we'll hop up there and do these brakes. I forgot to double check if these were locked. I usually keep them locked, but that's good. All right, off we go. All right, so I just picked up all my stuff. Here's some VVT solenoids for a job I'm doing next Monday. But on this vehicle, and something I'll do often, is I didn't know the rotor size. It could have been like 285 millimeters or 300 millimeters. And I come here often enough that the auto parts store just gives me both sets of rotors. And then I just bring back whichever ones I don't use, and then we bill it out then. So that's pretty nice. The brake kits at AutoZone are pretty good because you can get the pads and the rotors. Has a combo deal for extra cheap. Extra, not meaning the quality's cheap. You just get a good deal if you buy both. So we've got those picked up, heavy. I brought them out here, and we'll hop up there and do those brakes. All right, so I thought about not even filming this whole job because I'm like, it's just brakes, but it's interesting, the fact that they were grinding. And I'm like, well, that'll give us something interesting and new to look at. And as I was headed over there, I got a call, an emergency call from this guy who we just pulled up here, and he can't get his 4Runner started. So we're gonna see if we can get it started. You know, I'm not like the super diagnostical whiz, but it sounds like it's probably something electrical. The starter's clicking, and anyways, that's about it. It's not starting, it's not turning over, but you do get a click. So I'm gonna load test that battery, do a few other things, check the ground to the engine, and hopefully we can get this started for him. So hopefully it's something figure outable, but turn this day a little more interesting. It is Saturday, so I tend to get a few more calls on Saturday than other days of the week. But here we go. We'll go over there, hop over there, and see if we can figure out what exactly is going on here. But again, probably something electrical. All right, so I mentioned in my top 5 tools video a little bit about electrical systems, and this is exactly why. This is one of the main call outs we get, is cars won't start, because obviously they're saving a lot with not having to tow. So here we are with an electrical problem, and hopefully we can figure it out.
show up to my house, fix it in less than an hour. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's exactly what I need.
Okay, here, let me go ahead and go through it.
No, dude, you gotta show me this stuff.
Oh, no, for YouTube. I want to make a video about what we did.
Oh,
I'm just gonna explain them. No. Not of you. I'm gonna explain what we did right here and just show them. So, because all right, so the GoPro overheated a bit, so I'm not sure how much footage we got. I've seen this problem a few times where, you know, you'll see people replace a starter or a battery, and it looked like we had to find enough connection on the cables here, but there was just so much corrosion. I thought, you know what, it looks exactly like this problem I've seen before where these terminals are just really bad. So I went ahead and replaced the terminals for this guy, and that did the trick. So everything's greased up, put into place. Not the prettiest job. He does have this wired up for his lights that he runs, so we got it all thrown together. But again, biggest thing was just a lot of corrosion we got cleaned up, and if you want to go ahead and start it, we'll show them that it works. So it's running like a dream. Customer was impressed. We got it done for him. It's a job well done. We'll see you over at the brakes. We're gonna head over there now. All right, so that was his vehicle running there. I don't know, again, the GoPro overheated a few times and lost its battery, so I'm not sure if we got all that on footage. I know I probably got at least a few pictures of the battery. So we went through and tested everything. Let me set this down. When I got there, I put the battery load tester on it, multimeter. I tested for power down at the starter. I made sure that the engine grounds were good. Everything had power. And I mentioned in another video where you can put this battery load tester on the cables themselves to see. It was reading weak, but so was the terminals. And so after probably 20 minutes of fiddling around with everything and not finding anything, no issues, no codes, I said, man, it sounds just like a bad connection at the battery. I've seen them a few times. Again, I've seen people replace starters, alternators, and that not be the issue. So I said, you know what? I'm like, they look really corroded. You ought to replace them anyways. If this isn't it, I'll just charge you for the parts. So I told him, you know, $5 a piece for those little connectors. And so we went ahead and replaced them, and it ran like a dream. That's what I was anticipating it was. But, you know, it was good to see it work. So here's the old connectors here. Remind me what these are called. Let me see here. Battery terminals. I thought the terminals were the things sticking out of the batteries. That's why I always want to call them terminals, but I don't. Anyways, here's those old corroded ones. There was just a lot of corrosion on there, real hard to get off. And that did the trick, so that's a job well done. We'll head over there and do these brakes now. Sorry if that video wasn't super perfect. Again, I had some issues with the GoPro, but we'll go do those brakes and see what's causing those to grind, but it's probably completely worn down, so it'll be interesting to take a look at. Here we go. Okay, I just got over here. Here's the first look at our brakes, and here's what they look like, if you can see. So those are destroyed, and in fact it looks like this side is worn about halfway through the rotor, but I may be wrong. We'll have to look at that when we get out, but it looks like this front wall is way thinner than the back wall. In fact, I know it is because I can feel it. So that's dangerous. Looks like that pad has broken loose, if I had to guess, and it's also cutting into the rotor right here, which it has cut down about a millimeter. So I've actually seen pictures of rotors getting cut completely in half, and you absolutely lose your brakes on one side when that happens. So this was getting a little sketchy, but we'll get it fixed up. Nothing we can't handle. We're parked over here. These Detroit diesels in this truck are known for having a fuel sending unit go bad in them. I replaced it about a year ago because it completely died on me, and it's starting to act up again, so I think I'm gonna have to replace that. So someone is asking if they could see us work on the mail truck soon, and I think you're gonna get your wish, because it's not gonna be anything too detailed, but I think we're definitely gonna have to do something. So here we are over here, parked, Roadside Rescue. We'll get her done. All right, it's parked so close to the curb that I had to put this jack under in a weird way, but I got the jack stand thrown under there. We'll go ahead, get this taken off. Yeah, so you can see here where that pad's come completely out, and that didn't break loose. What happened was the pad got worn down so thin it was able to slide past the caliper here. So just a little case of abuse here. This has gone on too long, and again, this is worn down. You can see what I'm talking about here. See how much thinner this wall is than this wall, and they were close to just wearing all the way into these heat fins. Or you can see here this ridge, they were close to cutting their caliper off. So I was wondering if this would have screws here. I always drill these out because those little impact screwdrivers don't work sometimes. I've seen plenty of pictures of the bits broken in them, whereas a drill works every time and you don't have to reuse these screws. They are just for holding the calipers on, and the rotors on, sorry, I might have called it calipers a minute ago anyways. The rotors on in the factory. So I'm gonna drill them right out and this should come right off. So nothing too big of a deal. We'll get the new parts in here. I got popped in the finger by one of these springs and I thought I got shocked. But actually these little spreaders, one of them's completely broken, and they usually don't come with new brake pads anyways. Oh yeah. That other one had like no pad on it left either. So I often have people ask me as well, like about working in the street, just like kind of how I go about doing that. I really won't work on the side of the road on a busy street. Like this is a residential neighborhood and I haven't seen a single car pass by since, but you know, every once in a blue moon, a car driving by, no big deal. I like to keep the truck out on the road with the hazards on, just so people know I'm here, sitting out here. But that's another reason why I wear this red jumpsuit that everybody calls a prison suit. Looks like I broke out of prison in it or whatever. But I wear this color mostly just so I'm visible to people, just as a high visibility thing. That's why I almost got bright orange, but that's why I didn't get bright orange, was because that definitely looks like a prison jumpsuit. So I went with the red. It's easy to see. It's also the colors of my business logo, which you'll see on the truck soon. It's going to get wrapped. So yeah, that's why. Also, another thing is you got to be really careful when you just go really destroy a rotor like that and brake pads, because you're going to send this piston out further than it's designed to go. So you really need to be careful about making sure it doesn't leak. If it does, you know, you can always rebuild a seal on those, but I would just replace the whole caliper. This one's not leaking and it's going in nice, so should be fine to use. But you just want to be careful. You'll see fluid behind here sometimes, and this is dry, so you just want to check for fluid in there, make sure you're not leaking. one side. We've been here a total of 18 minutes. I've probably been working on it for 10 minutes. There she is. We'll time lapse the other side. But once that tire goes on, everything's nice and settled. I do open up these calipers to the top. You can often tell, and I've really always started opening all of them to the top, because when these are connected, a lot of people will open them like this, but the hoses now are so short that you really can't. So I always undo the bottom one and just open it to the top and push it out. That way I don't have to worry about undoing the hose up there. So we'll time lapse that other side, but that was pretty easy over here. In fact, this car is a little neglected. I'm gonna go ahead and look everything over, but their tires are bald on the outside here, so they need an alignment and a new set of tires as well. Just things that I'll point out to the customers while I'm here, look everything over. But when I get to that other side, I'll look at those sway bar end links and outer tie rods and ball joints to make sure everything's looking fine over there. But that's a pretty new rotor on there. And we'll go ahead and hop over to the other side and get this jack stand out. All right, it is hot, so it's probably about 100 degrees. But we got that job done. Everything went together fine. Brakes are pumped, ready to go, and much more safe to be on the road. That was definitely an emergency. So this is the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. A lot of people have been asking about that caliper compressor I use and that silicone paste, so I'll link those products in the description so you can find them, at least know what they're called, and you can find your own if you don't want to get them through that link or whatever. This is the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. Those are 2 jobs well done. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks for all the subscribers. Also, don't forget to subscribe for the giveaways. We'll see you on the next one.